Hello folks, welcome back to day 8 of my Huevember drawing challenge. We're doing yellow today with my lovely character Baron. And the photosensitivity warning today, I'm going to put a big emphasis on it because I forgot to make the canvas on the right side of the screen, the stationary canvas, make it big enough to focus on. So if you need to leave this video, I will see you next week. Other than that, try to focus on the canvas on the right side if you are a little sensitive to flashing lights, moving images, because as you can tell, the canvas on the left side of the screen is going to be jumping around, zooming in and out, and flipping about a lot. So, as I said before, this is Baron. He is our first real villain character for Huevember. I think I'm just subconsciously giving all the villains the yellow color because yellow is vile and I can't stand working with it, and I think it just fits the villains so well because of that. But Baron here, truth be told, did not have a solid name until 5 minutes before recording this voiceover here, so if I trip over his name a bit, that's why. It's because I keep forgetting it. He's had a few names over the years. I just never really settled on one that I thought was right for him, so couple minutes after finishing the piece, I just searched through some baby names online until I found one that I thought fit him well. So we are going with Baron. I think it suits him quite well. He's very aristocratic, very snobby, so it just seemed to suit him. Finishing up with the line art here. I always do the wings last because they're just such a pain to draw out each and every single feather without making them look too crowded and too muddy. So just going in with those before we do our block coloring. And for the colors on this one, again, yellow, my least favorite color. I can't stand it. So I was having a hard time actually coming up with a good color scheme for this one. He's got the blonde hair there, but other than that, most of his outfit is kind of like browns and blacks. So it was difficult to figure out how I was going to incorporate that yellow color instead of just defaulting to an orange color like I usually do. And what I decided on is I gave him a flaming sword. I don't think there's going to be a scene where he ever carries a flaming sword, but it seemed to fit his character and it gave me a good excuse to sort of cast a very vibrant, very bright light on the character that would be within the theme for the month, which is yellow. And there it is with all its flames and all its glory. Going in with the background here, I tried doing these like starburst shadows. They didn't quite work, so I just put like a basic drop shadow behind him, which looks good, but I do kind of wish it didn't look like he was standing or flying right next to a wall. I wanted him to be more in open space, but I think it works to give him just a little bit of dimension, to put him in the space a little bit instead of just floating out in the middle of nowhere. Once again, going in with that highlighting technique where I just put a multiply layer over the whole thing. We're doing a very, very dusty tan for the multiply layer and then just erasing it in the spots that I want to be highlighted. I don't know why I keep drawing wings. They are such a pain to shade and highlight because you have to go in, little pause there. You have to go in and detail every single feather and make sure they're all in the right place and put enough notches in there to make them look realistic, but not enough to make them look overcrowded. They're just very irritating. But here we are, we keep doing them. And then after the highlighting's done, just going in with a bit of that cell shading. And speaking of the wings, I actually did really enjoy cell shading them because I think with the intense highlight, once the shading went in, it just made everything sort of pop on the wings and made them look a lot more realistic. Going in with yet another highlight layer to really, really make that intense cast light from the flaming sword. Here we are. Again, on the wings, every single feather's got to be highlighted. It's a pain in the butt, but it is so worth it in the end. And of course, we're just highlighting exactly where the fire would be the warmest, where it would sort of light things up. I do go back in a little later here and I highlight a nice big chunk of his cheek because it was just looking a little dull. And I wasn't sure what the problem is. I was going in with some shading. I was changing the colors around a little bit. None of that was working. So I finally went back in and I created just that big slab of yellow on his cheek. And I think that's where I wanted it to be. And then we finished it off by blurring the edges of the image to kind of give that forced perspective look. And I think it turned out really well. So that is Baron, our first villain character of Huevember. If you guys would like to follow me on my art journey, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram, as well as Patreon if you would like to support me that way. Other than that, I will see you guys here tomorrow for day 9, which I believe is going to be another orange? No, green. We're getting into green tomorrow. I will see you all then. Bye.